Hi everyone and welcome back to Clara Cookie Crumb Fun. Today is Trim Healthy Mama Monday. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you my Trim Healthy Mama testimony. I'm going to share with you about how I learned about Trim Healthy Mama, how I got on Trim Healthy Mama, how I got my husband on Trim Healthy Mama, and how it helped me get my energy back and lose all the weight that I gained over 7 pregnancies. So just stay tuned. We'll be right back. First of all, I want to tell you where I learned about Trim Healthy Mama. Now, we presently live in California. We used to live in the state of New York, all right? We lived in Western New York. And we went to a church's ladies meeting. And one of the teachers from my Bible college was speaking at this ladies meeting, so I wanted to go see her. So I drove about 45 minutes to an hour away, and we were becoming friends with the pastor and his wife. And we had a lot of things in common. They also went to the same Bible college as we went to, so we were reconnecting and just finding new people. And it was fun time getting to know them and rekindling, friendships and that. So at that meeting, now this lady is she's a nurse and she has lots of knowledge on good health. And the classes that I took with her, it just opened up my eyes to health and foods to eat and how important it is to eat a good diet and eat a healthy diet, whole foods diet, different things like that, So during that meeting, the pastor's wife was talking for a little bit, and she mentioned Trim Healthy Mama. Now, that was the first time that I had ever heard of Trim Healthy Mama. And so I went on Facebook, and because I was curious, I'm like, I don't know what this thing is, so I really didn't ask her about it because I never really exactly knew what it was. And because a woman that I had trusted mentioned it, I was like, oh, maybe that's something I should look into. So because she was talking about all the health benefits of eating the certain way of it. And she was talking about stevia. And my first impression was like, ooh, stevia, yuck. I'm not going to eat any of that kind of stuff, right? So I went home after the meeting and stuff, time went by. And then being on Facebook, I looked it up on Facebook and I found the group and I joined the group. But that was it. I never went in the group. I never talked to anybody in the group. I never got the book. I never looked for the book. And this was in fall. I would say this is probably September-ish of 2013. Yes, 2013 I'm going to say it was, because my daughter was almost 1. She'll have been 1 in that November. So it wasn't until March of the next year of 2014 that I actually bought the book. Because another friend of mine from college, she lost a lot of weight, all right? She posted on Facebook. The great thing about Facebook is being able to keep in touch with friends, all right? So she was a friend that I knew at Bible college, and so she did the Trim Healthy Mama thing, and she got skinny. She got so skinny that her clothes were falling off of her literally in the parking lot of the store, okay? She was telling stories. It was so great. Not that it was great that her clothes are falling off, but being so skinny, And I'm like, what woman does not want to be thin and just feel good about yourself, right? So with her influence, I said, I'm going to do it. So I ordered the book from Amazon, and this was the original book, all right? This is before they had the, I don't have the new plan book, I just have the cookbook, but you know what I'm talking about. I think they're wearing white in it, but it's the plan and not cookbook together. It's just the plan, okay? So I bought this huge, ginormous book, and I said, I'm going to take a week, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to get skinny, right? So I took a week, and I was so naive. I didn't get it, all right? I skipped some parts because silly me thought that I could do it without reading the whole book, right? Now, there is a lot. This is the book, all right? This part is the plan, all right, the beginning, and all this part here is a whole bunch of recipes, and then it talks about hormones, and there's exercises, and there's a section about not forgetting your man, and a section called Foxy Mama. And so I have not seen the new plan book, so I don't know what of this is in it. I'm sure probably all of it is in it, just a little bit more condensed, right? Am I right, ladies? I don't know if you have it. I probably should buy it just so that I can have it. But I figured if I have this is, what I need. So that is 17 chapters, but they're not very long, talking about the foods. I mean, the last few chapters just talk about the foods and what they do. Like, here's just xanthan gum. Here's a page about xanthan gum and what it's good for, you know. What is this stuff? The glucose, you know, konjac noodles, nutritional yeast. You know why? Oh, I love nutritional yeast. Pop some popcorn and a little bit of oil, or if you can air pop it and not have any oil, and put nutritional yeast on it. It is so good. And then when it's all done, I lick the bowl clean and I eat all the nutritional yeast. It's just so yummy. It's salty and cheesy and all that good stuff that you want in your popcorn, right? So anyway, and the chana dal, you see, it's just subjects. It just, see how that is? So this book I read, and so I thought that I knew the plan. So I kept in touch with my friend Denise, and I was talking to her saying, okay, I read this, you know, I was trying to get all my questions answered from her. So I said, you know what unwise decision I made? I said, you know what, I'm not going to worry about all those e-meals. I'm just going to do S meals, and I'm going to eat all S meals. And then it was just a couple days later, I read it some more. You know, I looked back and I went over some things, and I'm like, facepalm, duh moment. You're supposed to do both, you know? So that's how I started. I started thinking that I can just eat all these fatty foods and all these dairy products and all this scrumptious high fat foods and no carbs. Now I jumped in and started doing that, and then a couple days later I realized, oh wait, you're supposed to be eating all those carbs, you know? So I started unfoolishly, okay? And like I've said before in previous videos, I cried on my second day because I was not as prepared as I thought I was. Oh my word. I was at home and I was trying to make food and I'm crying, I don't know what I'm supposed to eat. What am I supposed to do? I had no clue. So then I ran to the store and bought a whole bunch of vegetables and some proteins, and I was all set, which I should have done a couple days prior to this. So anyway, so that's how I started. I read all the book, and then I read it again because then I realized what I did wrong, okay? So then I realized the importance of mixing your fuels. So I started the third week of March. I went 2 weeks before I weighed I didn't own a scale. I went 2 weeks before I weighed myself. And we had planned a trip to, we were living in New York, and my in-laws live here. My husband's family live here in California. So we're planning a surprise visit. All 9 of us were going to fly out and surprise them. They had no idea we were coming. Only his brother, so he can help us with airports and car seats and all that sort of thing. It was like the best surprise ever. I should throw in the video. I have it somewhere on my YouTube channel. It's called Surprise We're Here or something like that. I'll try to put a little archive for that. But it is an awesome video because she was so surprised. They did not expect us to come at all. It was the best week ever. But anyway, so I weighed myself the Sunday. We left on Monday, and I weighed myself that Sunday. And so I knew how much I weighed then. So, you know, in the beginning, you ladies testify to this, right? You lose weight in the beginning. Sometimes you can lose 5 to 10 pounds in the first couple of weeks because it's such a drastic change that your body's going through. It's just because you're drinking more water, you're drinking better liquids, you're eating healthier foods, and all the junk's coming out of your body. So you can lose, you can lose 5 pounds in 2 weeks, but don't expect that all the time. Don't expect that all the time. All right. It's going to be 1 or 2 pounds a week, sometimes, a half a pound here and there, but just don't expect that to happen every week. So anyway, I had a feeling because I knew how much I weighed after I had my baby, and that was in like a year. Let's see, it was a year and like 4 months. She was probably that old at this time. So I just went by that weight. And so, I gave myself about 5 pounds or so. Okay. And so then when I came back from California, I weighed myself again, and I had lost 5 pounds, which was like about a week and a half that I weighed myself. So I did my best to stay on plan while we were on vacation, and it was all new to me. I was talking like an expert, trying to share this diet with family and friends. But I did pretty good. I was pretty surprised that I did pretty good for the beginning, because it's really hard in the beginning, isn't it? You read the book, you get prepared, but then it's really tough. And I wanted it to work so badly, but I probably should have waited till we got back from the trip. But it worked out that I did just fine. So then I used a friend's scale until I got my own scale, and I was losing a pound or two every week. So that was in April of 2014. Is that what I said? Yep, April 2014. And so I was making a lot of shakes. Now, the only special ingredient that I bought was the protein powder, and that wasn't until probably close to a month or two into it. I was using cottage cheese in my shakes for the protein. So what I did was I kept pushing him. I said, my husband, I said, James, you got to try this. This shake, it tastes just like a Snickers bar. Or this chocolate shake is so good. You know, the big boy smoothie, that turned out to be one of his favorite ones. All it is strawberries, you know. So I kept pushing the foods on him, you know. And so then I tweaked our meal plan where I was making Trim Healthy Mama dinners. So they were eating healthier. The kids still got, you know, like I would make them biscuits. They would get breads and, you know, other ingredients and stuff. But me and I would get that. And so I started making the mashed potatoes out of cauliflower, and my husband was pleasantly surprised about that one. And so, let's see. So I kept pushing the shakes on him. You know, kids would go to bed, I would make my snack, you know, and he's playing a game, I'm watching something, and I said, you got to try this. So I'd make him one. He's like, wow, this is really good. So the next night I'd make like cheesecake berry crunch, and he's like, wow, this is really good. Or I'd make a muffin. He's like, oh, they ain't so bad. So slowly he's like, wow, these foods are good. Because you know what, ladies, we all know the men, how easy they got it, right? Don't the men lose the weight faster than us? I told him, I said, if you stopped eating sugar, okay, one, stop eating sugar, stop eating like wheat products, like all the, you know, all breads and stuff like that. Just those two things, you'd probably lose like 20, 30 pounds in like a month or two. And you know what? What happens? That man lost 90 pounds in like 7-8 months. I was like, why can't I do that? Here I am over here losing a pound a week, and he's, oh, I lost 4 pounds this week. Oh, I lost 3 pounds. And so I was like, I was so glad, you know, because we were both heavy, all right? I was wearing a size 18, probably should have been wearing a 20, all right? So that things weren't too tight. And, but I was wearing extra larges, sometimes a 1X, just so it wasn't tighter and clingy on me. And then after 9 months, when I lost all my weight, I lost 43 pounds from when I stepped on the scale 2 weeks in from Trim Healthy Mama, okay? And it took me 9 months to lose that weight. And I was wearing a medium. I was wearing size 8s. I was wearing smaller sizes than I was in college, because in college I was like a 12. And that was just fine. That was like pre-baby and all that stuff too, right? So our bodies are all different after having babies. But I was wearing size 8s. I couldn't believe that I can go to the store and go look at the smalls and the mediums instead of having to go to the plus size section, you know? I was just so pleased and so happy. And that summer, I was outside playing with my children. We played. We had this big, huge grassy area in front of the house. It was wide and long, and the road was not like, it was semi-busy, you know? And but it was far enough away from the road that we did all our playing out front. And so we would do like red light, green light, what is that, sharks and sardines? Is that what it's called? I don't know, whatever games, you know, that they came up with. I played hide and seek, all that stuff. I played with my kids. That was my exercise. I played with my children all summer, and I couldn't believe it. That's what I kept telling people. I'm like, I have my energy back. I'm playing with my children. I'm not sitting in this chair, you know, drinking a Diet Coke, watching them. I am on my feet playing with them. Trim Healthy Mama gave me energy that I didn't have previously, and I was just so awesome. Of course, the kids are happy because mom's playing, right? They're just loving it. So that was all that summer. And then 9 months in, so what is that? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah. Like between the holidays, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I noticed that that's where I stopped losing weight. And so I said, okay, I think my body's done. I was just about 10 pounds shy of my goal weight. What I remember being before I had children, what weight I was 10 pounds short. But I also knew from reading other women's testimonies and asking questions and reading people's questions on the Facebook groups that my goal weight might not be my body's goal weight. So that's what we have to remember. We might want to weigh 125 pounds, but our body might only want to weigh 140 pounds or 135 pounds. So we have to remember that. And sometimes, because like Trim Healthy Mama, if this has happened to you ladies, you'll lose inches and not weight. Or, you know, you lose weight and inches, you know? So that's how I was able to fit into the size 8 clothes. I was just like, I couldn't believe it. I was like so amazed. So, but that is where I stopped, where I plateaued, and I my husband also ended up stopping probably about before that, probably in the fall. And so that's when we went into maintenance mode. And that's where we decided to start having some honey every once in a while on the bread in a mug. And we used real 100% maple syrup on our pancakes rather than making the Slim Belly jellies and all that kind of stuff. But we didn't overdo it. I mean, I was buying that for the kids already, so it was we had it, and we really didn't have pancakes a whole lot. But I remember that was yummy. Okay, it was a nice little treat to have that sort of thing. But I was able to, we were able to maintain our weights for the whole entire next year, you know, from the fall up until we moved to California. All right, so we maintained from the fall of 2014, you know, the holiday time, 2014, to the to the fall of 2015, because we didn't move until the middle of October to California. And I knew that it was going to be impossible to stay on plan, right? I mean, when you're on a road trip in a car and you really only got fast food and restaurants to eat, then I'm not really going to be able to stay on plan. So, but I also used it as a time of fun. Like sometimes you can plan to cheat, right? Because you know that you're going to be in a place where you're not going to be able to, like if you're having a company party or something, you can't control what the food they serve. So, you know, you could take the toppings off the pizza and put it in a tortilla or just eat the toppings, but it's not going to really fill you up. You know, you need more stuff. So what I decided to do was, like, if there's opportunity to cheat, then we're just going to do it. We're just going to enjoy it. And then once we settle back into our place here in California, then we were going to just get back on plan, you know, lose the weight or whatever, you know, that I'm sure gained in that 2 weeks time. So we took 2 weeks in in October to move to California, and we drove from New York to California. We stopped in all different places and visited friends in Indiana, stopped in Oklahoma. We saw the Grand Canyon. We went to Denver and visit some friends in their church there, which was so much fun, driving through the mountains. Oh, God gave me snow, because one of my biggest fears about leaving at that time was I was going to miss winter. Because if you know me, I love winter. And so as we were driving through the Rocky Mountains, it was snowing. It was so beautiful. I was just like, I want to go and play with it. But anyway, so we came and we to California, and we gained weight, trust me. But, you know, it's like, it was enjoyable. You know, I drank chocolate milk at this place in Lake Elsinore that they said, you got to go buy some chocolate milk. So we bought this chocolate milk, and people took us out to eat. And, you know, sometimes we'd have pizza, or we'd bring food back to the hotel. I'm like, I'm eating pizza. I haven't eaten pizza in 2 years. You know, I'm eating pizza. And it was so good too, you know. So anyway, you know, garlicky crust and all that, you know. So we enjoyed cheating. It really was fun on the move. So then we came back, we got here in California, and, well, it was tough on Claire. It really was tough on me when we moved here. We moved in, it was the Tuesday before, I think it was the 27th. It was the Tuesday before Halloween. And my husband started his job the next Monday, which was, I think, November 2nd. I'm not sure how the calendar days and all that. But I jumped into unpacking because I said, I got to do this, because I knew me. If I didn't do it, we have to get back into a new routine. We have to all adjust to being here. I'm going to have to make this video a two-parter because it's getting kind of long. But because the next part of the story is just it's going to take me 20 minutes to explain that. But I went through a little bit of a depression when we moved here. And I was down. I missed home. I was homesick. I gained weight because I was so sad. I gained, let's see, and it lasted about 2.5, 3 months. Now it wasn't severe, but have never experienced it before. I look back and I'm like, how did I survive? How did my family survive? What did I do to my children and my husband? You know, I'm like, what did they go through? I was too busy sad and depressed and missing New York. And every time somebody posted a picture about the weather being, it's 5 degrees, I'm like, I wish it was 5 degrees here. You know, it's like that whole winter here in California. It was our first fall, it was our first winter, our first summers, our first springs. I had no idea what to expect. So when it was cold, I was like, oh, please God, let this cold last like, 3 or 4 months. And it was only cold for like a month and a half. There was no need for winter coats. There was no need for boots and gloves. Now it got chilly, and it's a different cold than the East Coast has when it's cold here. When the sun goes down, it's a totally different cold. But anyway, that has absolutely nothing to do with Trim Healthy Mama. But if you come back next week, I will go into the weight gain that I gained from during my depression and how we jumped back onto Trim Healthy Mama and started to lose the weight, getting back to what we were before we moved. So I hope you enjoy this video, and please subscribe for more on Trim Healthy Mama, homeschool, and big family life. All right? Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Give me a thumbs up even if you didn't like this video. Be kind. All right. So come back next week for the other video, and I hope that these Trim Healthy Mama videos are being helpful to you. So if you have a testimony, if you have a video, go ahead and link it down below in the comments, or you can give a quick little testimony downstairs. All right? Thanks so much, and I will see you next Monday for Trim Healthy Mama. And don't forget, be a blessing.